Hello and welcome to this episode of Break Panel Sports. I'm John, not joined alongside Joel. You're just stuck with me for this one because Joel, we couldn't get anything to work for this week. We checked out our schedules and we kind of realized that we have nothing. So I said, you know what? I still want to talk about these games. So I'm just coming on here, giving a quick talk. We'll see if it's quick. Who knows? Just talking to you guys about the games. Everybody out there, you know, big conference championship weekend. It was massive when it came to fan reactions, when it came to these teams, their storylines. And I think a lot of fans were worried about a certain scenario. And we got that scenario that a lot of fans are worried about happening. It may be kind of not interesting to some people. So let's just kind of start off, take a look back at some of these games, recap the games, what went right, what went wrong for each team. And we're starting off with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders NFC Championship game, 55 to 23. Jalen Hurts ended up going 20 of 28 for 246. JD Daniels threw the ball 48 times for 29 completions. So you take a look at everything and wow. We'll take a look at some of the stats for this team as well. But this was an absolute thrashing by the Philadelphia Eagles. Washington was in it for a lot longer than this scoreline would tell you. But the key of the game, four turnovers by Washington, three of those being fumbles, one of those being an interception by Jaden Daniels. Those fumbles forced by Philly were the story of the game to me. This defensive unit from Philadelphia, because Jaden Daniels, well, he put up about as many points against Tampa Bay. It still looked like he was in command of Tampa Bay, a command of that game. Same thing with Detroit. They were in command of that game. Jaden Daniels is a quarterback that impresses me so much because of how calm he is in the pocket, day in and day out, snap in, snap out. He is one of the most relaxed players in the entire National Football League. And this game, the Eagles defense did what they had to do to rattle him a good bit. And he still went 29 of 48, which isn't, the most impressive thing in the world, but he was still able to drop back 48 times. He converted, a major fourth down earlier in the game with his legs, 6 carries for 48 yards, and one of those being a touchdown. Jaden Daniels, you just have to be so impressed with the guy. Obviously, his team lost 55 to 23, an absolute, again, blowout, thrashing. Philly showed they're ready to dominate. But this, will go to Washington. For them, Washington fans understand you're heartbroken. They got this far. This is the first time they were in this game at all for so long. And now they find themselves in the game. And I don't think a lot of Washington fans were kind of saying, okay, we're gonna go win this game. I have Super Bowl expectations now. They were just kind of happy to be there, but you don't want to lose by almost 30 to your rival. It's a tough way to go out. It's a very tough way to go out. Zach Ertz had a great game, obviously the former Eagle, 11 catches, 104 yards. Rookie quarterbacks, young quarterbacks kind of defer to their tight ends when they're stressed. And this is the first time we've really seen Jaden Daniels stressed and under duress. And that's why you see his tight end having a 100-yard game. Obviously, also former team inspiration from Zach Ertz. But looking forward for Washington, I have no worries about this team. I really don't. I think they have a ton of great pieces. Maybe they got to get younger running back Austin Eckler solid, but I probably expect them to draft one, later in the draft at some point this year to give Jaden Daniels an extra back. Brian Robinson is still great, but who knows how long Austin Eckler is going to be around. At receiver, they probably need another solid number two, number three. They've got a couple good pieces, but not enough. And defensively, you look at 55 points on the board and everything, sure. Also, we have to mention Washington trying to stop the tush push was one of the funniest things we've seen in the NFL in a long time. In a long time. I never knew. I kind of always thought about it, but I never knew that awarding a score was a possibility. That the officials could step in and just award the score if they were just going to keep encroaching and encroaching and encroaching. I had no idea that you could do that. It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. I had no complaints about that too. But Washington, again, tried to go over the line. They couldn't do it. It wasn't going to happen. And taking a look at Philly again, defensively, awesome. Quick comments about the tush push. I don't hate the tush push. I'm not an anti tush push guy. Get stronger, bigger, and more ready to handle it. Because if the tush push was that unstoppable as just a play, if it needed to be taken out of the game, then everybody would be doing it and doing it well and doing it as effectively as Philadelphia. No one else could do it as effectively as Philadelphia. If it was just down to if you're at 4th and 1, put the biggest guy in there and just do that play, then everybody would put in their 6'5" player and draft a player exactly like Jalen Hurts that can do this. But Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts, and he's just so strong. You have to find a way to stop it. That's just how it is. It's a man play. It's a man's play. The tush push, the brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it. It's a man's play. So you got to step up. And Washington was the first team to try to kind of break away around it and get it done. But we've seen it stopped. We've seen it stop plenty of times. You saw it stopped last year against when it gets Tampa. Vita Vea iconically stopped it as a Tampa guy. So that was huge for them. Tampa Bay found a way in that game, and the Commanders they couldn't. You know, look at Tampa Bay as well. You know, they came in, they lost to Washington, and then Washington lost to Philly. So Philly is in a position now where they're redeeming themselves. It's redemption time for Philadelphia back in the Super Bowl. They got a big win, and there's a couple players and obviously a coach you want to highlight with his team. We'll start with Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni is a guy that faced so much pressure as the Eagles coach. A lot of people wanted him gone in Philadelphia. They thought he wasn't the guy. His personality can be annoying at times and everything, but he has shown you now, if you're an Eagles fan, he can get to the big game. He can win big games. He can make major wins happen. And that's exactly what he did all season long, right? This team won 14 games, now 17 games. They're in the Super Bowl, and they have a chance against Patrick Mahomes. What more do you want from Nick Sirianni? You might not like the guy, but the guy's a winner. He's shown you he's a winner. Time out, time in, whatever you want to say, he's a winner. Nick Sirianni, any talk of him not being there next year, not being there going forward, that's done. Now you have to remember though, Frank Reich did get fired not very long after they won the Super Bowl. His fall off was quick, so I'm sure the critics will probably remember Frank Reich and think of it that way. But yeah, there's no issues with Nick Sirianni right now. Got to be none. I have none right now. Next season, you can bring up if the same issues that were there before come up, but they don't win games, they don't win 14 games and go to the Super Bowl. Okay, then we can have a discussion, right? If they're first round exits again, then we can have a discussion. But this Philadelphia Eagles team, they're ready to go. Howie Roseman built a great team. Defensively, they have everything that you want. This team is primed and ready to win right now and get the franchise's second Super Bowl under their belt. And a lot of that has to do with the Giants, believe it or not, gifting them Saquon Barkley in free agency. Oh my goodness. And that point has been hammered home so many times about Saquon Barkley, about the Giants and their fumble, everything. But for Saquon, I think a lot of people have been talking about it and don't talk about Saquon. Don't talk about a guy that people think should be the MVP of this league. People don't mention that. People just think about, oh my goodness, I can't believe the Giants let him walk. That's their problem. Saquon's locked into right now. This is arguably the best running back season that we've seen in the last 20, 25 years when you factor in the playoffs. Potentially ever, or at least just in the 2000s. I mean, it is so impressive what he was able to do. He had, his early run, his first touchdown. My goodness, what an impressive feat. 3 touchdowns for Saquon Barkley, 15 carries, 118 yards in a playoff game. 60-yard rush was just beautiful. What more do you want from the guy? This guy is carrying the Philadelphia Eagles to this point. Obviously, they have a lot of other great pieces, and the defense is great. But when it comes to really just dominating these games, it's because of Saquon Barkley. It really is. It has always been because of Saquon Barkley. I mean, come on. You look at the Rams game, 78-yard and 62-yard touchdowns. What more do you want from running back? It's the perfect running back. Saquon Barkley has become the perfect running back and always was. He just never got the chance to really shine. 119 yards and 25 carries against Green Bay. It's so impressive. So for Saquon and his legacy, because the guy's not old by any stretch of the imagination, he may be old for running back's sake, but not right there yet. He's getting there, sure, but he has shown no sign of slowing down whatsoever at all. This is his best season, first year with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he is starting to just ball when it matters most. So Saquon has emerged as the best running back in the league. In a league where Derrick Henry had one of his best years of his career. I mean, what we are watching two great running backs go at it this season. Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, two of the best running backs I'll ever see in my life. Just so impressive what this guy's been able to do. I can't say enough about the guy. I really can't. I just straight up can't. I can't at all. Saquon Barkley is putting on a run right now that will put him in the Hall of Fame, especially if he's able to win this game for this team. A lot of people expect him to win the Super Bowl MVP if they're able to win the game. Jalen Hurts, not as obviously not as electrifying as Saquon Barkley, but just taking a look at this game for the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts, he's doing exactly what you need him to do. He's doing everything you need him to do. Obviously, the 3 rushing touchdowns, only 16 yards of those carries, but and the tush push has been unstoppable. We can talk about the tush push forever, but he still went 20 of 28, 246 yards in a tutty, and didn't throw a pick. He's a great passer. efficient passer. He may not have, the deep ball. He may not have everything, but for what the Eagles need him to do, he's exactly what you need. The Eagles have designed this offense to win a lot of games under Jalen Hurts. Critics of Jalen Hurts, the guy won 14 games in the regular season this year, 3 in the playoffs so far. His legacy is, when you talk about his legacy, he needs a Super Bowl for his own legacy. But as a passer, I mean, remember, he had 5 total touchdowns in the Super Bowl when this happened, when they played each other the one time. This is a rematch now. It's his revenge game. Jalen Hurts is an opportunity to enter a villain arc of his own. He has a chance to start to become Mahomes' Eli, even though it just in a scenario where Brady lost to Eli one time, beat Eli one time. But Brady is, Hurts and the Eagles, they also look like they're going to be back here. This does not look like the first time they're going to be here in the past few years. I mean, they already got there a couple years ago, but the way this team is built, it feels like they can get back here again, maybe even next year, depending on what Detroit looks like without their coordinators. But Jalen Hurts starting to really build a good resume for himself as a quarterback when he talk about winning. Not saying he's going to be like this all-time great or anything like Mahomes is or Allen has the potential to be, and we'll talk about Josh Allen in a second. But Jalen Hurts, he's doing great, and you have no complaints about the guy. You can't. And they're in the NFC Championship, and they won the game, and they're in the Super Bowl. They're heading to New Orleans. They did exactly what they needed to do. Sure, maybe they got the benefit of the Lions getting eliminated, but the Lions defensively were too banged up to really win. They were too banged up. They ended up losing to Washington. We all would have loved to see an Eagles Lions NFC Championship game, but at the end of the day, we didn't get the game. We didn't get the game. So you got to kind of stick with what you got, and this is what we got, right? Jalen Hurts, though, he's an NFC champion. He's a winner. They're going to keep heading on. But for Philly, fans don't like the fans of Philadelphia. We all saw what happened on Broad Street, and that's going to be interesting, and that's a topic for another time. But the fans, people consider them insufferable, but this team is fun. This team is fun and ready to roll. But moving to the AFC Championship game, Chiefs-Bills, a game that has been hotly talked about. A lot of people not happy with the result. The Kansas City Chiefs. I saw one really interesting picture, by the way, where it shows what America is probably rooting for. Usually a solid meme, right? A joke map that people like to make. And it shows the entire country was rooting for Washington, and only like this small little section of Pennsylvania and maybe South Jersey was rooting for Philadelphia. And the same thing with Kansas City Buffalo, where the entire nation is rooting for Buffalo. Then you just have this little dot in the middle of Kansas City, Missouri, where you got a red marker where the Chiefs are rooting for. And someone pulled up another picture where it was the exact opposite. Everybody's rooting for the Eagles, when they were going to make their first Super Bowl, Eagles against the Patriots, especially in the Super Bowl. And same thing, Chiefs going against the Patriots. The entire nation is covered with Kansas City, right? And just a little block over up in New England is where the Patriot faithful is. Now it's all reversed for both of these teams. And you realize that people hate winning. People hate winning. People only want you to win once. That's what I've noticed. People only want you to win once, and that's it. Maybe back to back, they'll be fine with. But once you start to reach dynasty level, once you start to reach three-peat level, like the Kansas City Chiefs are one game away from doing, that's when the hate comes in. And all it takes is a couple bad calls here and there, maybe an annoying personality and a brash personality on one of these teams. Back then it was Tom Brady. And I have no other thought than to just feel like I'm watching the Patriots dynasty yet again in terms of the fan reactions to it, everything. It's, oh, the refs made all these bad calls. Oh, there hasn't been cheating allegations yet, fortunately for them. But it's, oh, this Mahomes, I just can't get my mind wrapped around how good Mahomes is. I don't like Mahomes. The coach is annoying me. And people like Andy Reid, I think. I don't think that's been an issue. But Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, it's all this stuff. And it was the same thing with the Patriots. It was the same thing with the Patriots. Don't let the nostalgia of Tom Brady's winning fool you, because Tom Brady was the most hated player, was the most hated athlete in sports for a while when he was winning. Was just so hated. And rightfully so, because of how much he won. I understand it. But Brady gained a lot more respect later into his career. We started to appreciate what he was able to do, especially when he went to Tampa. People just didn't like the Patriots franchise. People liked Tampa a lot more. It was okay, a new team is winning, right? But when it's the same team, the same logo going into the Super Bowl so often, people start to get annoyed. Me, I kind of like rooting for greatness, to me. I enjoy rooting for greatness at times because, again, my perspective on this is okay, either Jalen Hurts gets his first Super Bowl, Saquon Barkley gets the Super Bowl, or Patrick Mahomes can potentially become the second greatest quarterback of all time if he's not already. And The only time in my lifetime, probably in all of our lifetimes, that we'll be able to watch a three-peat happen. Because it likely won't happen again, this opportunity, for a very long time, I'd imagine, unless if we get something similar a lot quicker than I think it can happen. So let's just kind of focus on the game before we get back on that train of thought. 32 to 29, Kansas City Chiefs take down the Buffalo Bills. 15-2 regular season record, 13-4 for Buffalo. Now the Chiefs end up winning two games. They take down the Texans, take down Buffalo. And there's a few plays that people point to, right? There's a quarterback sneak on fourth down by Josh Allen that it looks like he may have gotten over that line. Now, when you look at the sideline angle with the sticks versus the yellow first down marker, the yellow first down marker looks like he got it by a country mile. But when you went back and kind of checked the replay out, you can't really see the ball, and it looks like the ball is kind of tucked a bit more into his chest, just not the direction where the first down marker is for Josh Allen. It looks like he might have missed that first down by like a half an inch. It was that close, but there was nothing to overturn it. So you have to kind of make that call. The Xavier Worthy catch, which if you have any possession on the ball, and even if the defender has more of the ball, it's a catch. You can debate whether or not he had, whether the ball hit the ground before anybody had possession of it, right? That can be a debate. But I point you to the Fail Mary, Seahawks, Packers. We all know what that was. We all know that they ended up calling that a touchdown. If you don't know what that is, go look it up and go watch it because that caused pandemonium in the National Football League. Oh my goodness, it was ridiculous. It caused so much pandemonium with the replacement refs, and it's a similar play. And that always goes down as a catch. Whether you like the rule or not, sure, but that's just the way it is. Patrick Mahomes, a guy that I like to talk about a lot. Patrick Mahomes has started to become the Brady so quickly after Brady beat him, by the way. We don't usually get this. This isn't normal. Winning like this isn't normal. And I've been having a lot of discussions about Patrick Mahomes, who was near perfect in this game. 18 to 26, 245 yards and a touchdown. He played phenomenal. And running the ball has started to become a thing for him, which surprised me. He doesn't do it as much in the regular season. That's like a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow even. But Mahomes ran the ball 11 times, 43 yards, two touchdowns. Talk about a guy that likes to will his team to victory, right? Brady wasn't doing that because, well, he literally couldn't. He couldn't do it because he just wasn't athletic enough. But he had his moments, right? He had his moments where he had to take off and do what he needed to do, but not like Mahomes can. Not like Mahomes can. I'm not saying Brady's better. I'm not saying Brady's not better, but Mahomes is getting right there. Mahomes is getting right there for this team when it comes to Tom Brady. Right now, he's got 3 Super Bowls, 5 appearances, a chance to win number 4. When you look at his legacy, I currently, like I said before, I have Mahomes as the second greatest quarterback to ever play this game. I do. If he retired tomorrow. And you can factor in longevity, you can factor in all that. And I understand those arguments, right? But what he's able to do when it comes to willing his team, when it comes to performing in clutch moments, his arm, my goodness, all that stuff, and you factor in the winning. He's got the second most playoff wins behind Brady. He is right there with the greatest of all time. So all those greats. And a lot of people talk about Breeze, Aaron Rodgers, and it's an easy thing to look at, right? He's putting up similar numbers in the postseason, and he's winning. That's the thing, he's winning. Sure, it's a team award, it's a team accomplishment, but again, we had these same conversations about Tom Brady. We did. It's just the same conversations, the same points, the same things that people were saying before Tom Brady became the greatest quarterback to ever play in football, before we officially cemented that. And I think we really did that as just we all accepted it. We all sat there and said Tom Brady's the best. I think it took 5. 4 was the over Montana. Montana was the greatest, but before everybody was saying it, 5. So for Mahomes, I think he's got to go win 5 before people can all agree with Mahomes is number 2. But to me, he's number 2. He's number 2. And Josh Allen has shown that Buffalo's just cursed. 4 AFC Championship or just 4 playoff losses to Patrick Mahomes. It is an absolute failure by Buffalo to not get this guy the weapons he needs, to not get this guy the defense he needs, the defense that Patrick Mahomes has. Buffalo has failed him year in and year out. Go make a play for Josh Allen. It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened for this team. And, you lose your best playmaker in Stephon Diggs, all the drama that goes along with it. And everything that you try to do, they still can't get it done. Josh Allen has emerged as one of the best playoff performers that we've seen in the past 15 years, but he hasn't gotten to the Super Bowl. He's gotten to this point multiple times. He has a chance against Patrick Mahomes. And you have to look at this, by the way. Josh Allen, you get the ball with well over 3 minutes left. You're down by three. You need a touchdown. Joe Brady, why are we calling a run on the first play of the game? How often, when Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, all these guys, Aaron Rodgers, need a clutch drive, are you calling a run play on first down? It got stuffed. In hindsight, it's 2020. You call a run play on first down. I mean, it's not what you need. And that run gets stuffed, and it gets to fourth down, and it hits Dalton Kincaid in the arm, and he can't make the play. And that's it for Josh Allen. Now, one thing I will say, Josh Allen, and I'm not saying Josh Allen was perfect, right? Because there's one thing I kind of look at too. And it's one thing I've talked about. I've done some TikTok live streams over the past couple of days. And it's one thing I look at. There is a play where, or not a play, they go to the sideline, they pan to the sideline, right? They cut to the sideline. And you look at Josh Allen and you can see his eyes. He's looking to one of his teammates and he's just saying, I'm good, nodding constantly. I'm good. And I've seen the point he hurt his hand, but it's not about that, right? He's about to get the ball with his offense. He's about to get the ball, and all of the demons that have come because of this Kansas City Chiefs team, because of the losses he's had, what this means to his legacy, what this means for everything about Josh Allen, what this means when we go to the lunch table, we talk about Josh Allen and how great he is, but we say, well, Patrick Mahomes beat him 4 times. That's what we talk about, right? That's what we as fans talk about. Younger people, older people, me, right? That's what we talk about. We talk about these moments. We talk about that drive. And in that moment, when you look into Josh Allen's eyes and you see him say, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, and you look at him, he's not good. You can feel the anxiety. You can feel the pressure in that moment. I'm not sure if, in some of the segments I'll have a video of it, but you can just see it. It's when you look into someone's eyes, you know something's up. And that's what I saw with Josh Allen. That's the moment I sat there and said, it's not happening. It's not happening, right? You look at Tom Brady. He's down 28-3. He's sitting on the sideline. He's got his hands folded. He looks like he's about to just get ready to roll. They live for these moments. Patrick Mahomes lives for these moments. Aaron Rodgers would just look, and he just, take his hat off, put the helmet on. I'm ready to roll when he's about to get the ball back. Clown Russell Wilson all you want. That guy's always in uniform, ready to go, right? He has a Super Bowl. Josh Allen, he's a nervous guy. And I think it's something we don't talk about a lot. Josh Allen talks about it a lot. He says he throws up before every game, right? And I don't know if he still does it, but that's what he says he does because he is a nervous player. And he plays so wild, right? That you wouldn't think that. But that could be where that comes from. He doesn't have that sound ability like a Mahomes, like a Brady, like a Montana, like a Burrow to just where no, it doesn't matter where he is, right? Because he's an Arrowhead, and you get it. To just take the ball, drop back, keep going. Doesn't matter what the clock says, doesn't matter what the score is. Josh Allen hasn't reached that point in his career yet. Jaden Daniels has that ability. We've seen it a lot. We saw it against Tampa. It was calm, poised, collected. Josh Allen's a great player. He's a great player. And he's had his clutch moments against this team. But when I looked into his eyes, I mean, it was on my TV screen, so I didn't really look at him. But when you look at him and you see the look on his face, you can feel the thoughts running through his head of, I need to beat Mahomes. I need to get this. What Steve Young had it for so long, right? I need to get this monkey off my back. Josh Allen hasn't done that yet. Josh has not done that yet. Can he scratch the itch? Can he get the monkey off his back? I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you that he can because I've watched him fail 4 times against this guy. So will he get this opportunity again? Probably. Probably. Will Sean McDermott and Joe Brady be there? Probably. Will the same team be there? For sure. But can Josh Allen drop back, make small completions, keep the offense moving, and just get it done? That's what we have to find out when it comes to Josh Allen and it comes to the Buffalo Bills. Josh is arguably the second best quarterback in all of football. Some people may say he's the best right now because Mahomes didn't have a great year in the regular season, right? But if you really want to say that, the clutch moments when they truly matter for his legacy, he's been clutch time and time again in the fourth quarter. That's not been a problem. But when his legacy is on the line, he hasn't shown up. He hasn't shown up in the ways that it needs to because he's shown up enough. He's done the bare minimum when it comes to showing up. Tyler Bass misses a field goal. Stephon Diggs drops a pass, right? This one, you can say the Kincaid drop may count into that. And there's been other moments. Defense not being able to get a stop. The thing is, there, I talk about the run on first down. I talk about the Kincaid drop. But in between that is where Josh Allen needs to shine. Is where the greats have shined, right? We like to talk about the moments that end it, the moments that stand out. But we don't talk about the moments that kind of just go by the wayside, right? A second down incompletion or a second down 3 yard completion, right? Josh Allen had a play where he took off and got a first down. But again, it's just making that play. Someone making a play for him because that's what happened to Brady a lot. That's what happened for Mahomes a lot. His defense gets the stops a lot of the time. Brady gets Vinatieri. There's a world where Vinatieri misses kicks, and it's similar to the career of Josh Allen, minus these Super Bowl appearances. So Josh Allen still has many years you'd hope left in the NFL, many chances. And if there's a year where he doesn't have to run into Mahomes and just is able to go off, maybe has to beat Cincinnati and Lamar, and that's his run, then he'll exercise those demons. But as it stands right now, he's going to have to keep running into this team time and time again. Can he beat them? I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you that he can in a perfect scenario. I really can't. I really can't. I just, because when something like that is something you obsess over for so long, he probably keeps thinking about it. It keeps you up at night. Oh, I can't beat Mahomes. I can't beat Mahomes. Right? If I just won one of those games, I'd have a Super Bowl or whatever you want to say. He thinks about that. You can see it on the look on his face. You can see in the press conference, be the champs, you got to beat the champs. He knows he hasn't been able to do it. So when it comes to round 5, which is likely at some point in time, will he go into it with the same kind of nervousness or will he go attack it? That's the question for Josh Allen. That's the question. Um, in terms of the Chiefs, it's just another day at the office, right? It needs to not be another day at the office. It needs to just be another day at the office for Josh Allen. For the Chiefs, fan reactions have not been great. This Super Bowl fan reactions have not been great. There have been talks that this will be the lowest rated Super Bowl in years. I don't think that'll be true. I don't think so. I think people will very much watch this game. It's Patrick Mahomes. Philadelphia will watch the entirety of Philadelphia will watch this thing. Patrick Mahomes is too good of a player to not make you want to watch the game. Saquon Barkley is too good of a player to make you not want to watch the game. Anybody right now that's kind of Monday morning quarterbacking it, like I am, of course, but that is saying I'm not going to watch this game. In a week, you're going to say, yeah, I'll watch the game. I'll watch it. It definitely watch a halftime show. It's one of the best halftime shows we're going to have in a while. I think I love Kendrick Lamar. It's going to be a great Super Bowl. I am excited for this Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a fantastic Super Bowl. I don't know, if you disagree, you disagree. I am in love with this Super Bowl. I think it's going to be great. I personally think it's going to be very good. So, but right now, to give you an early prediction, and I'm sure me and Joel will talk about this as we get closer to the actual game. Right now, as I sit here today, this is a Monday night I'm recording this. It's probably Tuesday morning-ish when you get this up. Right now, I'm sitting here saying Philadelphia is going to win this game. I really think so because I think Philadelphia is just on paper is a much better team. Saquon Barkley's playing on another level, on another planet right now. They have a better defense. They have a better offensive line. They're more physical. Those teams usually win Super Bowls against a team like Kansas City, right? That is not as physical. They have a great defense. Kansas City's defense has been underappreciated for a long time. Same thing like Brady's defenses were underappreciated for a long time because of how much they won and how much it came down to the quarterback. But Philadelphia is just great. They have such a great roster. They're a super juggernaut of a team in terms of in the trenches. And Kansas City hasn't had the strong enough offensive line to really kind of go through that. Jalen Carter and Creed Humphrey are going to battle. They're going to battle. It's going to be awesome. Center versus defensive tackle. It's going to be awesome. I'm ready to watch the trenches in this game because I think Philly will dominate, especially if Brandon Graham's able to come back and play in this game. I have Philly winning 34-27, just to give you a score, but it'll be interesting. I'm surprised that Philly's underdogs in this game. Chiefs are favored. Chiefs are favored in this game. We'll see. We will see if the Chiefs can get it done and win Super Bowl number 4 in the Patrick Mahomes era, 5th in their franchise's history. I was actually also surprised to kind of realize that, yeah, this is the 5th time the Eagles have made the Super Bowl. I was surprised about that too. They've only won one, but I was surprised to learn that they've actually gotten to this game a lot now. So will they get number 2? Will they be 1-4 in Super Bowls? We'll see. I don't think so. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles will come out and win this game. And again, we'll give you a more detailed preview. Me and Joel, we can hop on here and talk about it. And I'm sure we'll talk about the AFC Championship game. We'll talk about the legacies of these players and everything again, with him. But right now, again, I have Philadelphia. Just to give you some quick one. That's just my quick reaction. You know, if I change my mind next week, sorry. Okay, sorry. But to kind of recap it, Jaden Daniels will be fine, and he's emerged to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league already. We'll see if he sophomore slumps. Jalen Hurts, big game for his legacy. If he's able to get a Super Bowl ring, people may look at him a little differently, especially since he's going to beat Mahomes. Okay, Patrick Mahomes, he's entered the Tom Brady debate now, and a lot of people are saying that Patrick Mahomes may just surpass him because it's a three-peat, right? What does a three-peat mean for Kansas City and this legacy of this squad? Especially if they could win after it. A three-peat is something we've never seen before. And because it's Mahomes, because it's, people don't like Taylor Swift, people don't like the refs for some of the calls they may have made, it's not going to be appreciated the way it maybe should. It won't be. But in terms of greatness of a quarterback, yeah, this is huge. This is huge because some people may just say, well, Brady never three-peated. So Mahomes might just be better, especially if he plays another 6, 7 years and wins again. We'll see. Josh Allen, we've given the guy a lot of passes. He's got to make one. He's got to make a play. At some point, he's got to make a play and beat this team. I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't know if he's going to do it, but something's got to give, or else he will just end up in the very good category. He will probably make the Hall of Fame, I'd imagine. But again, same thing with the MVP. He hasn't won an MVP. He hasn't made a Super Bowl. He's such a great player, but you've got to find a way to win. Aaron Rodgers dealt with this after his Super Bowl. You're saying we talk about how great the guy is, but we need more winning out of you, right? You have to overcome your team at some point. And Josh Allen can't leave the Bills. Contract won't really allow it that well. So at some point, again, where does it give? Where does it give for this team? But that'll do it for this episode of Break Panel Sports. I've been John, joined alongside nobody. We'll see you another time. All right. But just appreciate what you have in front of you. Because just like with the Tom Brady era, you might get nostalgic about this in 10 years. Like we all are in the offseason. But that'll do it for this episode of Break Panel Sports. Thank you so much for watching, listening, anything, whether you're in your car, at night, before to go to bed, everything. Better read a book, whatever you got to do, whatever you're doing right now. You took the time out of your day to listen to me. Thank you. Appreciate it so much. But we will see you another time. Thank you.